Kundaraju, Corporate VP, Head of Digital Strategy and Transformation, RP Sanjiv Goenka Group. And moderating this discussion, we have Ms. Charu Lamba, Associate Editor, ET Retail. Welcome back.
Hi, I want to understand from you what sort of customer you are, because if I talk about myself, at times I search things online and end up buying offline. At times I go to offline stores and if I am a discount seeker also, so go and buy the things from online. So I know most of the customers are like me who are merging the blinds between online and offline. So I want to ask from you, Satya, technology plays a bigger role in this thing. So what sort of digital transformation have you done at some of your brands to deliver the omnichannel experience to consumers?
First of all, thank you for having me here. So that's a very interesting question. What you asked about what is the digital transformation strategy we have across the brands. So if we look at, especially for retail, there are three core pillars for our digital transformation, right? One is having a unified customer experience across the channels. Second thing, we call it as efficiency enablement within the operations. Third one is risk and control for around the finance. To kind of take care of all these three key pillars, we had a very clearly defined data strategy for us, where we kind of bring the data outside all the transactional systems, where we created three data towers, which we call customer data tower, supply chain data tower, and finance and others. If I take one customer data tower, we kind of bring all the customer information together, have a way to unify the customer information, right? Not just about demographic attributes. More importantly, how do I bring all the interactions across the channel, right? Be it commerce, be it mobile, be it phone delivery, any channel, whatever information we have, we try to bring that into the customer tower. Then we have able to segment the customer information, not just based on the demographic information. More importantly, how I will to connect that with the customer journeys in the channels, and at the same time, whatever the behavior they have on using all the attributes of bills, whatever they have interacted with us in the stores, right? What is their customer basket, what kind of products they bought. Then we kind of have a marketing automation on top of it to kind of meet the customer where they are, be it WhatsApp, be it any channel where they present, rather than interacting with them on only one channel. Right? Further, we use a platform called Result, where it will help us to do that automation seamlessly across the channel. Second one, when I look at the supply chain tower, especially bringing all that information is very good to bring all the transactional information related to the supply chain tower. But more importantly, how I'm able to enable seamless experience to deliver those orders seamlessly across the channels, right? That's where the core role it plays. But more importantly, a lot of times we talk about unified experience. It's not just enabling them on a technology or app. More importantly, how I make sure I have the right inventory visibility across the network to support that journey. I think that's the core pillar for us. These are the two core pillars, which kind of answers your question on the transformation what we have across the brand.
That's wonderful. I want to pitch in between, I want to understand from you, we touched upon the marketing automation part. How do you think AI-driven marketing automation helps retailers deliver real-time, data-driven engagement without overwhelming the consumer?
So I think Satya already covered it to say that the underlying glue which makes all of this possible is that data. So once all of that data is consolidated under a single location, so which includes all of the different channels, devices, and areas where they have interacted, then it becomes, the next layer on top of it is context. It's more about relevance, and it's also about taking care of security. So you're not overwhelming them, but you're making sure that you're doing it at an individualized level, taking into account their previous transaction, their current location, and making it very contextual, so that it makes it easier for them than overwhelming them. So all of that is where it comes into, it all starts with data and ends with that experience which drives that revenue growth. So
But data is still a challenge for many retailers, isn't it?
It is, I think there is a lot of data. It is knowing where it exists, how do you take it, how do you leverage it and get it together, which is where I think, much of the work lies. So, and today everyone is talking about that single unifier, which is one ID for the customer. And the customer is interacting across multiple channels, so multiple devices. So they have a web token when they're accepting notifications on a website. They have a mobile token when they're actually downloading a mobile app and interacting. And then you have IoT today where you have got your retina scan, you've got your palm related reader. So all these elements getting consolidated against that ID with that high level of security will then bring these experiences together in a seamless manner.
Lovely. So, Satya, coming back to you, when we talk about data and real-time analytics, how do you think it has helped the brand go a step further and maybe grow more?
I think if you look at today, the way retail is shaping up, especially in the commerce, what Redickaa talked about, you talked about, there are three clear trends I see, right? One is retail is moving towards something I call it as a predictive commerce, right? Earlier we have all the information available about customer behavior, what channels they are coming, what is the behavior. But just imagine the systems can predict not just the customer behavior, more importantly, what would be the needs of the customer before they express to the retailer, right? That's what I think going to change through predictive commerce. The second thing which I talk about is ambient commerce. What it means is how you can blur more contextualization than before. And with the frictionless commerce, where that ambient commerce word is coming up and we see a lot of organizations are adopting it. Third thing is, we always talk about hyper personalized experiences. That is there for the last decade and it is continuing to be there. But today, the way advanced AI capabilities, what is there in the technology, if you are able to adapt them right, you can enable that scale, millions, thousands of unique customer journeys you can access at the same time, and more contextualized to enable that personalized experience at scale will be going to be the difference.
I'm a consumer. When we talk about personalized experiences, when we talk about omnichannel, right? Somehow I feel the brands are still lagging and they have not reached the full omnichannel potential or the personalization potential. Redickaa, how can brands do that? I mean, still there is a gap in between.
I think everyone is jumping onto the bandwagon to make it happen. They are trying to assess the cost of how, the experiences that they want to give. First of all, the consumers they're targeting, whether they're ready for that experience. Across, because some of them dealing with, the market is divided into basically the high cities and going into interior towns. Preparing from an infrastructure perspective, cost perspective, and also which are the use cases that is going to make that first difference to get them all to see the value of AI and in helping them have the personalized experiences is where I think brands are all trying to experiment and putting, to see where can they take that first leap or the first step. And I think we're going to see that already. If you see the brands like Tata, brands like Tata Click, where even, what we spoke about our PSG, the entire Spencer retail groups. Globally, you've had Sephora, we've done a fabulous job, in making sure that every woman who walks in, she gets a smart, screen where she can go in and look at what are the previous products, but if that particular foundation is not available, which is the closest color that will match under another different brand. So there are things that are coming up, and I think as we progress through this year, we will see a lot more of adoption. That's what I.
Really looking forward to it. Want to add something, Satya?
Yeah, just I think especially everybody talks about experience, journey of the customer, but there are a lot of elements which are more important to enable that experience. For example, can I enable a dynamic pricing, right, for a consumer? It might not be a straight in the customer journey, but you have a lot of data available. Can I look at it? Second thing, usually some of the products, can I especially reserve for a consumer, right? Today, you're asking, we are not there. Most of the time a consumer comes, the product might not be available what they want. If I'm able to predict, there is a consumer visit might happen, will I be able to reserve some of the products specific to that segment of the consumers which is going to be expected, which might be your high value customer. there are a lot of elements which need to be done behind to enable the experience. It's not about connecting the channels as well.
I agree, it's a tough part for maybe retailers, and retailers are still trying. I mean, they have not reached the potential.
I would like to just add an example, of what we did, and maybe the entire audience can decide whether this is overwhelming or something that they would appreciate, right? So we did it for, I can't name the brand specifically, but the consumer actually looks at the website, looks at a particular product, and then 3 days later they're actually walking to the store. The marketing automation system recognizes that this particular customer has walked in, and before even they walk in, it takes all the previous day, the 3 days before whatever browsing that they have done, it picks up that signal and passes it to the retail promoters in store to say that Redickaa is walking in and she actually is looking for a VR camera. And the consumer who is walking in is given an offer on his notification as an app, as a notification on the app. So when he walks in or she walks in, the retail promoter comes in and greets them and drives them towards that store without letting them know, hey, I watched you 3 days back, I know you were on the website, I know you looked at the VR camera. But it is more about picking up that last place where the consumer interacted, picking that signal, making sure that it takes into relevance the context of where they are currently, the location of the store, and then allowing that experience. That is really where that digital and physical can come together and where the signals can be picked up.
I'm really looking forward to it. If it happens, I mean, I'm browsing something online, and if I go to the store and the retailer says, oh, this is for you on 50% discount, I'll be more than happy.
Okay, so he could probably make it first happen, in all of his stores.
So, Satya, any plans to do something like that?
Yes, we are,